How women behave when another man is present. Let me pose an awkward question to you now. Have you ever sensed a change in her demeanor before you had any evidence? The messages start to dwindle, the laughter appears forced, the affection diminishes, and suddenly you realize you are in a competition that you didn't even know you entered. Many men wait for validation. However, high value men notice trends. Welcome to Purplish Therapy. Today, I will detail how women behave when another man is involved. I mean, shifts in behavior. You will discover the subtle indicators that most men overlook, the psychological explanations for these changes, and most crucially, 4 effective steps you can take today when you confirm there is indeed another man in the picture. If you have ever questioned if she is losing interest, emotionally distancing herself, or considering another option, you must watch this video until the end. Let's dive right in. When her focus starts to wander, when there is another guy in the equation, the initial change isn't something you can capture in a screenshot, okay? It's not the big confession or the clear evidence you are hoping to find. The first shift is in her priorities. Her focus diverts before her behaviors do. Her emotions begin to change before you can point to anything tangible. If you are paying attention, you will notice that shift long before you can confirm it. Here's how that typically appears in reality. First, her response pattern alters. This isn't just sporadic or due to a hectic day, it is consistent. She used to greet you with a good morning without needing any prompting. Now you find that you are the one initiating every single conversation. She used to send lengthy messages or voice notes, but now you receive brief replies, unenthusiastic responses, and slow feedback. A woman who is truly excited about you doesn't frequently forget to reply. When someone holds significance for you, you make time for them, plain and simple. Secondly, the quality of your conversations will decline. Even when she does respond, something feels amiss. She fails to ask follow up questions. She doesn't show curiosity about your day. She doesn't engage with what you are sharing. The overall vibe just feels lackluster. When attraction is strong, a woman becomes enthusiastic. She wants to engage, she wants to learn more. Things like that. But when her interest is divided, she emotionally withdraws and offers less. Now, it is essential to note this. This isn't about stressing over a single off day, okay? Everyone occasionally gets busy or faces stress. You are not concerned with a bad Tuesday. You are looking for a new trend. If low engagement becomes the standard rather than the exception, something has certainly shifted internally. And that is what I want you to pay attention to. Thirdly, her availability becomes selective, right? She suddenly has no time for you, but seems to have plenty for everything else. Plans are delayed, conversations become brief, and you sense that your schedule is constricted. This isn't accidental. Understand, she is rearranging her priorities, and individuals always find time for what they are passionate about. Let me pose a straightforward question to you. When you were genuinely interested in someone, did you find it hard to respond, or were you actively seeking opportunities to engage with them? Precisely, reflect on that. The fourth aspect I want to highlight is the decline in her willingness to contribute. She no longer organizes outings, doesn't suggest activities to share together, and has ceased sending spontaneous pictures or updates about her day. Those seemingly insignificant gestures, whether you acknowledge their importance or not, truly count. They are minor contributions that indicate emotional involvement. When they vanish, it typically indicates that her emotional focus is directed elsewhere. Attraction functions similarly to a spotlight. When a new individual enters the scene, her focus may redirect toward what feels invigorating or fresh. Her thoughts begin to draw comparisons, even if she keeps this to herself. She reflects on who seems more intriguing, who appears more challenging, and who feels revitalizing. New experiences generate a certain thrill, capturing attention. However, this does not necessarily indicate infidelity. It implies there is competition present. Rather than reacting hastily, take some time to observe. Instead of seeking validation immediately, focus on consistency in her behavior. Rather than swiftly questioning, are you seeing someone else? Confront yourself with a more challenging inquiry. Have I become overly predictable, excessively accessible, too complacent? When her focus changes, your role is not to chase after it. Your responsibility is to quietly enhance your own self, enrich your existence, refine your appeal, and cultivate interest without exhibiting anxiety. Just proceed with it without making a fuss. This is how stable men approach competition. Secondly, there may be a rise in privacy and defensive behavior. With the introduction of another man into her life, her mind may start unconsciously measuring or comparing. She might not even be aware that this is happening, but you will pick up on it. The initial sign of this will manifest through altered expectations. Let me clarify. Suddenly, behaviors that were previously acceptable are now deemed unacceptable. The very traits that once had her laughing and feeling joyful now feel tedious and predictable. The routines that were once deemed stable might seem dull or monotonous. Engaging with someone new triggers a surge of stimulation in her mind purely because of the novelty. This does not imply that the other man is superior, it only signifies that he is unknown. The unfamiliar often brings a heightened sense of intensity that can cloud judgment. If you detect any comparative feelings from her, you'll observe three simultaneous occurrences. Firstly, she will begin to critique you more. Indeed, minor habits may become magnified. She will comment on aspects she previously overlooked. Secondly, there will be an emotional distancing. She may withdraw slightly to evaluate. Thirdly, conversations regarding future plans will become unclear or be avoided altogether. The energy of comparison highlights stagnation more rapidly than anything else. If you have been taking it easy, this is when it becomes evident. This is where having emotional maturity is also important. You cannot dictate whether she engages in comparisons. It is a human tendency. The only thing you can manage is whether you remain competitive within your own sphere. Thus, the misguided question is, how can I outdo him? The more thoughtful question is, am I progressing or have I settled into comfort? Comfort diminishes tension, while tension enhances attraction. If you feel insecure when comparing energy, your self worth drops significantly. The existence of another man doesn't automatically indicate that she is choosing him. It suggests that she is reevaluating her options. If you are secure, developing, and emotionally balanced, this reassessment can often turn in your direction. So, I encourage you to honestly reflect on whether, if she encountered you today in your present condition, she would choose you without second thoughts. This is a question only you can resolve. Number three, increased talk of independence. Yes, when another man enters the scene, the way of speaking commonly changes before actions are fully altered, right? Or become apparent. You might start to hear expressions of independence, such as, I just need some space. I want to concentrate on myself. I need to sort things out. I'm not looking for something serious right now. Individually, these phrases don't seem alarming. They are not necessarily indications of trouble, right? People often require space. Sometimes personal development demands autonomy, right? However, the surrounding context shapes the interpretation. Thus, when these phrases emerge along with a lack of commitment or comparison energy, where she is evaluating you against other men and shows emotional inconsistency, they are not arbitrary. There is a reorganization taking place. Now, let's explore what that entails. When she starts mentioning the need for space, she is psychologically loosening her attachment. That space diminishes accountability. She is attempting to create an opportunity for exploration without officially ending the relationship. Indeed, in many instances, it serves as a subtle exit strategy. This is the subtlety you might overlook. If she genuinely required space due to stress, work, self improvement, etc., her tone would still convey a sense of stability. She would reassure you of her commitment while requesting some breathing room. But when the need for space coincides with ambiguity about the future, emotional withdrawal, and selective availability, it merely indicates hesitation about commitment. You need to recognize it as such. Hesitation typically arises from having alternatives. When another man is present in her life, it sparks interest, and she finds herself unable to fully invest in him while still connected to you. Thus, she begins to widen that emotional distance. Discussions about independence serve as the bridge that establishes this gap. She shifts the relationship perception from us to me. Another trend to monitor is social repositioning. She may start dedicating more time to outings without your company. She could emphasize her enjoyment of solitary activities. She might publicly showcase her independence. And let me clarify, none of this is inherently negative. However, when independence suddenly becomes a core element of her identity narrative, it often indicates an emotional shift. And here is where men tend to undermine themselves. They hear, I need space, and react out of fear. They overreact and seek immediate clarity. This pressure just reinforces her need for distance. High value reactions sound different. When she requests space, you grant it calmly, neither passively nor resentfully, but with confidence. You also lessen your own availability. You refrain from pursuing updates. You do not keep tabs on her actions. You enrich your own experiences. Here lies the contradiction. Are you prepared? If her discussion about independence genuinely reflects self prioritization, your stable reaction will enhance her attraction towards you. Conversely, if her talk about independence is merely a facade to seek experiences outside, your composed distance will reveal her true level of commitment more swiftly. Holding on tightly will slow down understanding. Composure will hasten the uncovering of the truth. There is a nuanced aspect here that many men fail to notice. You see, independence frequently aligns with a rise in validation from external sources. Consequently, if she is getting attention from others, she will feel more empowered, and that sense of empowerment will manifest as confident communication. I don't need anyone. I'm good on my own. Confidence is attractive. But when that confidence suddenly spikes in the middle of a stable relationship, ask what fueled it. Because usually it's outside attention. So, what do you do if there is another man? I'll wrap this video up quickly with this answer. Okay, we're going to shift from analysis to action. 4 pointers. 1. Don't interrogate. Now, interrogation lowers attraction. Period. The moment you start firing off questions like, who is he? Why are you acting different? Are you talking to someone else? You shift that emotional frame. So instead of being the grounded presence in the room, you become the anxious guy seeking reassurance. Instead of interrogating, what I need you to do is to observe. Observation is calm, it's measured, it's quiet. You watch consistently over time. You listen to tone. You notice effort levels. You track patterns without announcing that you're tracking them. When you observe instead of confront prematurely, you maintain composure. Composure will preserve that attraction. There's a major psychological principle at play here. Hear me. People reveal more when they don't feel cornered. If she feels pressured, she defends. If she feels free, she exposes herself through behavior. You get it. Calmness creates space for truth to surface. Number 2, increase your value immediately. Don't waste time with this. Expand your life. Improve your physical appearance. Increase social proof. Sharpen your ambition. Diversify your attention. When your life expands, your perceived value will as well. 3. Reduce emotional overavailability. What do I mean? If she senses that you're anxiously waiting for her, urgency will disappear. When your demeanor appears calm yet not eager, she will adjust. Additionally, ready yourself for grief without anxiety. Understand that a woman who can withdraw effortlessly was never truly anchored. If another guy can disturb your stance, the reality is that your foundation in that relationship was never solid. This serves as insight, not a defeat. This is Purplish Therapy. I hope you found the video enjoyable. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Best wishes. Remember, there is no one like you and your fingerprint is a proof.